one time is Luigi, just the first weeks that we played together, came with a score or a string quartet by Sibelius called Voces Intimae, and it sounds like what we'd like to express with our music, playing together. So this name, the Latin language, and the inner meaning of these two words corresponds on what we want to do with the music, to find the way of expressing the inner emotions of the music, and what the composer real for our way to sing the music want to express from the composition. So it seems that it could work, and we choose. That's why we choose Voces Intimae.
We found out there was already a choir called Voces Intimae, perhaps in England, but we thought, it's a good idea. Piano trio. Funnily enough, a new quartet wanted to call themselves Voces Intimae, so we took advantage of the situation, and we are still happy with it. It still gives this impression of intimacy that you got to have when you play chamber music.
We are recording the Schumann piano trios. It's, of course, some masterpieces of chamber music, and maybe of all the music written till now. We arrived till Schumann piano trio, not after playing together for more than 10 years, because and more even more before the birth of this Voces Intimae, because we found this music particularly from one side important, from the other very complex, because inside this music you can find both the past and the future of the music, and they are very extremely important sides and phases of the composer itself, and all the romantic feeling of the music, and the extremely sometimes full feeling of Schumann's music are all of these things are inside this music, and it's quite an exciting challenge for us. So, and especially playing, trying to find a sound that could be more the nearest possible to what Schumann himself had thought.
We wanted to start with some very famous repertoire. We started with Schubert, after a few years with Mendelssohn. We wanted to get onto the familiar repertoire in an unfamiliar way. Of course, even there, quite a few people said to us when we started, but why do you bother to play the Schubert trios with period instruments? It's so much more difficult. I mean, those instruments are really sometimes very, very hard to tame somehow. But we felt we wanted to go back a long way and see and get the physical sense of what it was for Schubert or for Beethoven writing and playing and performing a piano trio.
Well, we'd like to recreate the ambience and the feeling of the composer period, and what the composer loved, what the composer knew. And Schumann knew about violin and cello, of course, but violin and cello with gut strings, because metal strings simply didn't exist at the time. Schumann think about the balance of this music using pianos like this one.
basically between the left hand of the piano and the cello, there's a lot of similarity on these instruments. It's almost natural to play in a similar way, and more or less also right hand with the violin. But with modern instruments, you really have a problem there because, first of all, the piano is it's bulky and very loud.
In the first movement of the first piano trio of Schumann, there is a very special section in the middle of the development where Schumann says that the strings have to play am Steg, which means sul ponticello. And with this old instrument, it's a really special color. It's really different from the color you can achieve on the modern instruments. So it's really worth to listen it in a way that Schumann intended.
This repertoire is so fantastically beautiful. And what you do with these instruments, with the music of Schumann, Schubert, Mendelssohn, is basically to do something very similar to what you do normally with modern instruments, but with the awareness that you are actually walking on the same stones as the old masters. Basically, you are doing what they knew it could be done with these instruments. Of course, there's no certainty that Schumann would be pleased with our performance. Maybe Schumann would be very furious with us, but we know that Schumann had something like this in mind, and certainly couldn't imagine that one day there would be gigantic pianos, or black pianos and metal strings and other things.
So what is the important thing about playing on historical instruments? The thing is that the music was made in a certain period according to the taste or the novelty of that period. And the instruments and the instrument builders were doing exactly what was in taste or possible at that moment and what was asked for. And people are very mistaken, I think, with the idea that the instrument was improved all the time because the former stage was not good enough. I'm sure that Mozart was completely happy with this piano, and so was Schubert, and so was Schumann. And the development didn't take place because the pianos were not good, but because taste changed. And orchestras got bigger and halls got bigger. Things were required which the former stage of the piano didn't have. For instance, Mozart's piano has a short tone but is very explosive and does exactly what the music asks. It's very articulated, but when we get to the period of the Romantic, the piano is asked to go to sing more, and that's exactly what the builders did. So they had to make a heavier soundboard, which makes it sound longer. But to make a heavier soundboard swing, you have to put thicker strings in, and to put thicker strings in motion, you need bigger hammers. And that's the development of the piano, not because they were not good. And very interesting, of course, is to come as close to the music as you can be. It's very amazing to me that nowadays Bach is being played on a Steinway. And so is Mozart and Schubert and Schumann and Brahms and Shostakovich and Kagel. It's all the same sound all the time, which is amazing in a time like this we have today, in which everything is at hand in 1,000 possibilities. I mean, if you want to know the time, you can buy a watch from €5, but also from 500,000 euros. And imagine this world would have one car. Impossible. Suppose there's one car and you would drive Formula One and go shopping and move pianos and everything with one kind of car. This is ridiculous. So let's be happy we still have the old examples and we can explore them and hear them. Thank you.
Could we start from R?
What? R.
R.
R. Okay.
R.
Okay, of course. R.
So what shall we do? Shall we do R to
To the end and then smaller sections.
And then smaller sections. Thank you.
As the recording producer of this recording, I'm listening to it very carefully, and I'm the first listener and first critic, so to speak. And I'm trying to find out what the interpretation is of the artists, what their intention is. And we are working on it and trying to show it in the best possible shape.
I may say something about the pleasure to play in such a good acoustic and a good team of people that are working together. Not only our three people, because of course for recording you need the producer, you need the great producer. You need the right instruments, the right piano tuner. You need many things. You need a really good acoustic, and the right venue to make the right recording. And I think we will find everything here in Markkleeberg.
It's a great pleasure for me to work with Voces Intimae, because they are not only historically informed and not only playing on period instruments, but they are also very experienced when it comes to the music and the repertoire. And I think that the listener will be able to share their experience and to enjoy the CD very much.